Welcome back to Hear Me Out by SHK. I'm back again with another match analysis. This time, the India Tour of Australia first T20 International. The ODI series just got over and India won the third ODI after losing the first two. Well, it's the first T20 International out of five, and it's going to be held at Canberra, the Manuka Oval. So, to those people who aren't familiar, it's a ground that not a lot of T20 cricket is well known about. It usually the Sydney Thunder play about 3 to 4 games there a year. It's their second home, so there's quite a few BBL games that have been played. But over the last 5 years, maybe only 3 or 4 T20 internationals have been played there. But from what I've seen, the Manuka Oval is usually a slower track that helps the spin bowlers a little bit. Players like Adam Zampa, who's well known, the spin pair that of I think the Adelaide strikers, correct me if I'm wrong, of Lloyd Pope and Cameron Boyce, they've done really well over the years. Usually, this track has had an average score of about 150 to 160. Something that was a little bit different about last year was the pass score was about 180. The track was a lot flatter, but it still had something for the spinners. Usually, it's the leg spinners or the wrist spinners who have a lot of support here on this track. Adam Zampa is the highest wicket taker in all T20s, including internationals. And usually, it's the spinners who have a good flight on them and can really trick the batsman into playing loose shots who get the wickets. And this is also possible at a slightly lower economy compared to the pace bowlers who can get the batsman to sort of play loose shots on this track. Obviously, in the first 5 overs or first 6 overs, there's a little bit of help for the pace bowlers because this is Australia. The tracks have a bit of pace and bounce, but there's not as much as other tracks like Sydney or Melbourne will. The boundary sizes are bigger than the traditional ones we see in India, like the usual 60-65 meter boundaries. These are going to be a little bit bigger. Around 70 to 80 meters is how big it is. It's not as big as the MCG, obviously, but it's still slightly bigger. So that's not going to help batsmen get a lot of clearance. So they have to target the pace bowlers a lot more than they do the spinners. India have been in a very good run of form in T20 internationals. They rarely lose a match, and usually they're comfortable winners. But Australia have also done really well in T20 internationals. They just came out of beating New Zealand in a series away. But I think these are probably the best two T20 international teams in the world right now. And hands down, they're by far ahead of each other. I still think India is the better T20 international team, but the conditions, how they play each other and plan for the conditions is really going to determine who comes out on top. How I think India will line up today is very similar to how they usually do. Obviously, Hardik Pandya is injured, so that's going to be a big blow for the team. But this is how I think they'll line up. Abhishek Sharma will open the batting with Shubman Gill. It'll be Tilak Verma at 3, Suryakumar Yadav at 4. I think Shivam Dubey will get the chance this game at the Manuka Oval because of the bigger boundaries. He can get that clearance off spinners, and I think he'll do well against a bowler like Adam Zampa. Apart from that, Sanju Samson I think will be the wicketkeeper. Ideally, he's the better choice ahead of Jitesh Sharma. Jitesh Sharma is good, but I think Sanju Samson has a bit more strength in clearing the bigger boundaries. And Sanju Samson really likes pace and bounce on the ball, which is something that you get in Australia. We saw him do really well in South Africa, where the conditions are a little bit similar, especially in pitches that turn a little bit like Johannesburg and Cape Town. They have a little bit of turn. They're a bit slow sometimes, but he did exceptionally well there. So I think Sanju Samson will continue. It's in the bowling that I'm a little bit confused. It's a bit tricky to pick, but I think India should play at least two spinners. There is some precedence to pick a finger spinner. Chris Green from Sydney Thunder has done decently well. He's had a good economy and a decent average. So there is some sense in picking someone like an Akshar Patel to bat at 7. So there are two combinations that India can go for, which is Akshar Patel at 7, Harshit Rana, Kuldeep Yadav, Arshdeep Singh and Jasprit Bumrah. I think the bowlers who are locked down definitely will be Harshit Rana, Kuldeep Yadav, and Jasprit Bumrah. Those three bowlers, I don't think you can really remove from this side. Harshit Rana has earned his place. He's picked up a lot of wickets for India A in Australia. He did well there. And against Australia in the one day series, he was India's and the series' highest wicket taker. So he's earned his spot, whatever, however controversial it was, his inclusion. Whether he's the best bowler, uh, one of the best five bowlers in India right now, is out of the question, but he's earned his spot. So I think he will play the first game. Then Kuldeep Yadav, because of the conditions and the quality that Kuldeep Yadav has, he will definitely play. So either they will play Nitish Kumar Reddy and Varun Chakravarti because of that Lloyd Pope and Cameron Boyce situation that we talked about earlier, or what is more likely is they will play Akshar Patel and Arshdeep Singh. Here's how I think Australia is going to line up. It'll be Travis Head opening the batting with captain Mitchell Marsh. Matthew Short at 3, Josh Inglis at 4, Mitchell Owen at 5, Marcus Stoinis at 6, Tim David at 7, Xavier Bartlett at 8, Nathan Ellis at 9, Josh Hazelwood at 10, and Adam Zampa at 11. I think probably the only maybe change that is possible is Nathan Ellis going out for Tanveer Sangha, who's a wrist spin bowler who plays for Sydney Thunder, and he's played in this ground for many years. He was brought into the Australian system at about age 17, so about 5 years ago, and he's been a mainstay in a lot of the local divisions. So I think the batting is pretty settled because this is how they lined up against New Zealand. I don't really think they're going to change much because Matthew Head is batting well. Josh Inglis does well at 3, does well at 4, and Mitchell Owen has done well in Australia, especially the BPL in 2025. So there's not much reason to remove him. Mitchell Owen has been a floater, so don't expect him to immediately come in at 5. Don't be surprised if they send Marcus Stoinis up the order and Tim David up the order before they send Mitchell Owen. He's been filling in that role. What you will notice is Australia will only line up largely with 4 frontline bowlers, which is Xavier Bartlett, Nathan Ellis or Tanveer Sangha, Josh Hazelwood and Adam Zampa. I feel like this is because Matthew Short is a part-timer, a finger spinner who can give them an over or two. Mitchell Marsh, who hasn't really bowled in the recent past, can bowl, but more likely what it'll be is Marcus Stoinis and Mitchell Owen contributing where they need to. Or if worse comes to worse, they will get an over of Travis Head. It may be a bit precarious to do this because the conditions are not that uh, easy to bat in, and if you can get 4 overs of these bowlers for 40 runs, then you're at a huge advantage. If you're playing on the slower track, if it's the faster track, then maybe you can squeeze an over off these guys and get away with it, is what I feel. And especially because India have quite a bit of batting depth, you can be severely punished if you do maybe even chip away a wicket. If you go for 40 runs, it's going to be very difficult. Uh, One thing to note is Adam Zampa has been the highest wicket taker on this pitch over the last 5 years, all T20s. He's going to be probably the most important component. How uh, India bats against Adam Zampa is going to be very important. If Abhishek Sharma makes it out of the power play, I think he's one batsman who can very much tackle Zampa. Even if he mistimes the ball, there's a very good scope because of his high bat lift that he can clear the fence. I think batsmen like Shivam Dubey and also Tilak Verma will be important in playing him. I think Shubman Gill and Suryakumar Yadav for India are going to be two important talking points because they've not made a lot of runs in the recent past. Shubman Gill across formats has struggled a little bit. Suryakumar Yadav had a very, very poor Asia Cup, but the quality is there and there's definitely a scope for them to make runs. Do I think they'll immediately get into it? It's a little bit difficult, especially if it is the slower wicket and it's difficult to bat on. I don't think they'll make runs immediately. Uh, but definitely the key players to watch out for will be Abhishek Sharma, Shivam Dubey, Kuldeep Yadav, and Jasprit Bumrah from India. And from Australia, Travis Head. He loves to play against India. He can definitely make some runs. Mitchell Marsh has been in very good batting form recently. He can give Australia a quick start, and I think even I think even Matthew Short is a player to look out for because he will definitely come in and bowl an over or two and try and make runs early. So Australia's top 3 is looking pretty strong. In the ball, obviously Adam Zampa, Josh Hazelwood can pick wickets early, and if he does, then India are in a very difficult spot. Nathan Ellis is a player who played for CSK last year and was the BBL winning captain for Hobart Hurricanes. Why there's a case for him to play is because he's a very good bowler of cutters and slower balls, so he can really challenge some of India's batting towards the end, especially because when you look at India's lower order batting, it's Shivam Dubey, Sanju Samson, and Akshar Patel. Three not traditional finishers. I don't think Rinku Singh will play ahead of Shivam Dubey because of the spin factor on this pitch. Next, the next game onwards, it's definitely going to be a very good case for Rinku Singh to continue playing. I don't think Shivam Dubey will bowl a lot, so that's not a factor towards the selection. But when you look at it, does look a little bit weak. So, and Harshit Rana slots in at 8. So if you can sort of trouble that a little bit, there is a scope for Australia to bowl India out early. I think that's the major weakness for India. Maybe Harshit Rana as their third seamer is a little precarious. He's done well. I think he'll still come in and pick up a wicket. He's a very good fantasy player. I see him a lot like Shardul Thakur. Even if he does go for runs, he comes in and picks up a wicket or two. Um, for Australia, I think we've talked about the weak point. It'll largely be that sort of untested middle order of Matthew Short, Josh Inglis, and Mitchell Owen. There's three players there who I'm not very sure will be able to play bowlers like Akshar Patel or Kuldeep Yadav all that well. There's a very good chance that they trouble them. So we've talked about the weaknesses of both teams, how I think they'll line up, and who are the important players for each side. I think, according to me, because it's a slower track, it's a little bit like Indian conditions. I will give a slight edge to India of 53-47. I know a lot of people are mad at me for giving very slight edges to teams, but what you have to understand here, especially, is that the quality is so high. Both teams have very high quality players. These are the two best T20 international teams right now. So to give a team more of an edge, like a 10 or 20% edge, it's a disrespect. So I want to keep the win probabilities within a range of like 8%. So that was the analysis. I hope you enjoyed. I'm a bit rusty because I'm doing this after, I want to say, about 4 or 5 months. So tell me what you think. Tell me if I'd love to see some feedback in the comments. I haven't seen a very vibrant comment section yet. I'd love to participate in a bunch of discussion. Give me a bunch of video ideas if you have any on what I can do. Uh, Something to talk about, something in the realm of cricket, even if it's not cricket, or you just want to hear me talk about something in cinema or economics. Just put it down in the comments. I'd really love to read.